I'm here with David Oliver. He is everything you need to know about Musto in Australia. There's a few other brands that he's involved with as well, but today I think we're going to talk about Musto primarily.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nick.
I'm pretty excited. Now, for those who don't know, we are here in the Rolex Sydney Hobart Village. The Musto shop is right here. It's the centre of town.
Well, the cruise shirts have gone really well. So this is obviously our early range for the Hobart. And the biggest one so far has been the matte tee. So we've had to do a second run already. It's already sold out, before we've even got close to the date. And obviously, if you haven't worn this before, it's got all the buttons. So matte Hobart, which is pretty cool.
Indeed.
We've got a few different tees this year. So tees are very popular. So that's a nice little race tee with a bit of a map and a stylised water pattern, which is pretty cool. That's been a good seller too.
Fantastic. But I mean, it's not just about the t-shirts here in the Musto shop. I hear that you've got some interesting kit on the shelf this year, Ollie.
Very much so. So yeah, we're not just famous for t-shirts. So we do work together as well. So you like to think we do it pretty well.
Yeah, indeed. Now, I've also heard that your range of wet weather gear and clothing in general is getting more sustainable as the ranges go on.
Well, yeah, exactly. The big battle has been trying to get renewable fabrics, cut down on the heavy chemicals. And as a business, we've been trying to get rid of the CPFCs out of our wet weather gear. And they're the things that really help with DWR and keeping waterproof. And we've got a new VR2, which is 100% sustainable now. And we've also got a trial fabric coming in from Hobart, so it'll be a world first. We've got 6 sets of a brand new fabric. It's Cat Zero. And that'll be a world first. So we're going to have it here, and it's going to go on 6 boats in the Hobart race. It'll be fantastic. 50-hour test, then it goes straight back to Gore, and it runs for a whole series of tests after that. So, but it's really good. So it's an Australian first, which is great.
So this shirt, Ollie, wait.
I don't make it look good, but
So this shirt, Ollie, I think this one is particularly sustainable.
Well, this is a big thing. So there's a lot of people who are banging on about sustainability and that they're doing great things by using recycled fabrics. That's not always good, and part of that is because people are getting Coke and normal bottles out of the recycling program, turning it into one-use clothing, which then goes into landfill. Some of these things have been in the ground for 300 years. Whereas this style of fabric can be recycled. And the reason for it is that currently a lot of clothing, you have to cut up. The zipper, pocket baffle, trims, care tag, spare buttons, they're all different materials.
So it's like your bottle, where you've got to take your bottle cap away from your bottle.
And it's not viable. So what we've tried, and we've built for years, is we've got a whole range come out now that is all one material. So this shirt, everything right down to the care label, the tag, the stitching, the embroidery, the button, the whole lot, it's all the same. So when you're finished, you can shred it and it can just be recycled with totally.
And that's OSM?
OSM, one single material. Yeah.
Right, okay, so that's what we should be looking at.
Absolutely, we have jackets, we have hoodies, we have the whole range. It's a really good start for sustainability because it's a closed loop. You know, there's a few other brands trying it as well, but we're really proud to pretty well be the first, so we're very happy with that. And when you finish with this, it can be recycled, reused.
Love it.
It's great, and that's genuinely what you should be looking for. And they're the questions you should ask. Where does the recycled material come from? What's the exit point for your product? And it's going to take a long while, but at least if we're all trying this, we're all getting one step better to a better outcome.
That is amazing, and I mean, what better race than the Great Race to test that in itself? But we've had this stream of southerly fronts, Ollie, which makes me a little bit concerned for the Hobart. So what are we thinking in terms of layers?
Okay, so the key thing, and what I would also want to say too, if you're not sure about your kit, do something about it now. We've got people like myself who can help. So you can ring up, you can come down to the tent, bring the stuff in that you plan on wearing, we can look it over. A lot of gear can be repaired, renewed. So it's like a sale, like anything on the boat. If it needs servicing, get the service done early. So maybe too late this season, but we can at least point in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure. And that's not just the clothing, because I did mention a few other brands. You do Barry boots, they could bring them in and
absolutely. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things for servicing, and look, the key thing I always want to make people aware of is that wet weather gear is designed to keep water out.
Yeah.
Water can always get in. There's a million different ways that everyone knows it. So the key thing is to have a 3-layer system where you have wicking materials, breathable materials, and a system that can push water off your body. Because even if you're completely dry from the outside environment, you can have sweat build up. You generate up to 4 litres of sweat per day.
Right.
And if you have cotton on, or if you have a base layer that might just be a hiking brand base layer, if it's not designed to wick or build within the system, you could be wetting out all the time.
Oh my goodness.
But
So
if you are, you need to work out why, because the technology's there. If you're getting wet or staying wet, then you've got to do something.
definitely. So if we're talking about base layers, Ollie, chuck me one over here, mate. Legend. So this is what we're talking about. Pulling that sweat away.
Yeah, so this one is a good one. It's a warm base layer. So you either run hot in a race or you run cold. So if you run cold, you'll go that thermal.
Yep.
The main difference between the two is when you start going to an active base layer,
Yeah.
there's perforations and body mat.
Oops.
So the idea is,
Yeah, we'll
got a
work it out
warehouse full of
later.
those.
Exactly.
The idea is these mesh points turn air.
Right.
So what they do is they get the air, they move it around, and it gets the sweat moving off your body.
Yeah.
And then, and that's the idea. So this is the turbo.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the right base layer, you're in trouble. And wearing this base layer is great, but if it gets over 30 degrees, or 25 degrees even, you'll sweat too much.
Yeah.
Whereas this style of base layer, you can wear up to 30 degrees.
But if you're a cold person and you're always cold, you'd wear this.
You go those.
Yeah.
But this is the sort of thing, active base layer, that you'll start the racing and finish it.
Yeah.
And you could be in 30 degrees like today and still wear it, but drop down to 0 at night and you'll be quite comfortable.
Could you put one of these over them?
No, you wouldn't
No.
do it. It's all about efficiency.
Right.
But this layer sits on you. And the next big tip is that you never allow the vortex to get in your skin.
Yeah.
So if you're not pushing water off quickly enough, it's because the air cavity around you isn't dense enough.
Yeah.
Because you need to have consistent hot air to keep pushing that
So you
through the
want
fabric.
flow.
Yeah. So base layer active is your best thing you could ever buy because you can wear it on a hot day.
Yeah.
The other tip is too, if it's very warm and you're finding that you're getting wet all the time from sweat, you might need to put shorts back on.
Okay.
Because the shorts will be another layer as well, just an extra uniform heat layer that'll just help keeping pushing that steam off your body.
Right. And so then what's the next layer after this?
That's
If
the
we're doing
real
layers.
Yeah.
I feel like we're playing dress up, Ollie. Great.
So we've got two mid layers,
Mhm.
and so if you imagine what a mid layer's job, it's not there just to keep you warm. This is the fan in the oven.
Okay.
So this is getting the air moving around. So this is the Gore-Tex mid layer, and that's a laminated material, so it's really waterproof in its own right. And then we have a soft shell variety, which is really high stretch. Mid warm, super warm. But if you're on, you can wear that on deck on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, if you're trimming main, you might want something more like this. But if you're on bow and you've got a bit more flexy,
Yeah,
you probably want
you've
something
got more
like
stretch in that, and that
Yeah.
comes in a salopette a whole lot as well.
this. Perfect.
Both these materials are designed to fit underneath the proper waterproof fabric, and they won't build up condensation. So if you get your MacPack Gore-Tex, it's a different Gore-Tex, and you can build up a moisture layer because it won't breathe properly.
Yeah.
The other thing that's really important is when you're buying systems like this, every pocket, every seam is designed not to sit on top of each other. So if you're wearing another brand base layer, another brand mid layer, you could have 5 pockets over one, and then you've got a wet out point.
Complete. Yeah.
So very important. And this has got a Teflon coating.
Yeah.
So when you're underneath the jacket, you have no restrictions. And also you want to make sure that you have a very low profile hood and cuff system. So you don't get this cuff on cuff on cuff, and then you have water starting hydraulic up your arm.
And if it's a wet race, you could essentially peel your outers off but still wear this to bed, I guess.
100%. A lot of
Yeah.
people delivering a boat will just sleep in that and wear that completely.
Yeah.
But the idea is that the water will push all the way through.
Perfect. And then the outer layer, of course, when we get to that.
So the outer layer obviously has a waterproofing, and I've just grabbed a pair of pants.
Yeah.
And this is the new generation pant. So there's a waterproof barrier,
Mhm.
and inside is a laminate, breathable laminate. This is HPX. HPX is high performance, and then you have mid performance, which is MPX. The laminate is 3 times bigger than any other laminate. So it means when salt gets on the fabric, it won't stop breathing.
Coffee.
Yeah, you can handle that a lot better.
Yeah.
And then the laminate inside stops water coming in, but on the outside, on the inside, we've got steam come through.
Yeah.
And then we have a microgrid backer on the back here, and that's a hydrophilic layer. So what it does, it chemically grabs water from the air and starts pushing it through the laminate. So it's a water attracting material.
Yeah.
So it sounds weird with weather gear, but we'll grab it and start pushing it through the fabric.
Yeah.
And then the other
It
key
basically
thing,
repels outwards.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there's hydrophobic and hydrophilic. Hydrophobic repels, which is your coating off and on a cheaper
Yeah.
outer.
So hydrophobic on the outer, but hydrophilic on the inner.
Yeah, so it's a water attracting, but it gets it flowing through.
I'm learning.
The other thing really important, and this is the thing to look back at servicing, is you've got to clean this stuff.
Right.
Because if not, you have grime, oil, cooking material, anything on a boat. The minute you do, it slows breathability.
So what are your top 3 tips if somebody's got a piece of Musto kit and they want to refresh it. For
Okay,
this
so the
Hobart.
first thing is do a warm wash with a non-bio, which just means don't use like Omo with enzyme. And then after that, you want to heat it.
Okay.
So new fabrics like this, you don't use any toxic chemicals to reapply. It's permanently impregnated. So what you do is you either heat it or put it on a warm
Or a
hot
steamer?
iron.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just got to be a super hot treatment,
Copy.
and then it re-energizes the fabric.
Okay, great.
But the funny thing is you can put it in the washing machine and a hot dryer, no problem. If you've got a smock, you're better off ironing because you don't want to damage the rubber.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes complete sense. And then I've heard, and I'm pretty excited that there might be a female range coming out.
It's taken 15 years to get right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And we have a drop seat which works, and
Yes.
it's beautiful. HVX fabric, and it'll be here in March.
Perfect.
And it's fantastic, and it's the sort of thing that women participation in sailing is just on the rise. And the funny thing is, a lot of guys are actually wanting a drop seat.
I know. I've heard this too.
I had about 5 people now.
I want a drop seat too because they've got to go to the bathroom too. Shocker.
Crazy.
But yeah, no, I think that's really exciting as well. So, I mean, when we talk about Musto, you're here, you're in the village, you're getting involved. They will help you repeat kit, so it's not just about buying new kit. And I know that there's so many people who are really appreciating your support in being here in person as well.
Oh, great. Well, it was great being involved. Yeah, absolutely. So nice being around it, beautiful environment. And it's really nice that our gear gets to wear the Rolex badge. And, we're going to be. It's great.
I know.
Yeah.
And while you're here, you can grab some Dubarry or some Foley as well. I mean, I've got my sonnies here, Foley.
Never leave home without them.
Never leave home without them.
Yeah, that's it.